Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast starring your hostess with the mostest. I'm Terrence Crystal. How y'all doing? Welcome back for another episode. And now, this episode, we're going to jump straight into it because there are three things that I really want to talk about. But first off, hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya? Don't listen to anything my sister says. She's nuts. um, yes. So, hi, how are ya? We're back with another episode. Thank you guys for listening. I'm so glad you chose to listen to little old me. I am now. It is a rainy Tuesday when I'm recording this. So yeah, I mean, I am not enjoying the England rain weather. I do not like it one bit. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am. Um, yeah, because that was connected. Yes, but this episode, I'm going to talk about three different things. I'm going to talk about a film, a TV show, and an album. The TV show, I will say, it hasn't finished yet, so I haven't been able. So I'm not going to obviously be able to review the whole series, but I've gotten 3 episodes of it. So, well, why don't we just kick off with that? The TV show I'm going to talk about today is going to be Marvel's Agatha All Along, which, if you don't know, is a sort of sequel series to, well, it's another TV show in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is the newest project that's currently out at the moment. It is a TV series on Disney Plus, releasing week to week. And it is a sequel to the TV series WandaVision. Well, I'd say that because WandaVision was a limited series, and so I'd say this is a new limited series with just similar characters that we've seen before in WandaVision. And also, it plays off of the events that happened in Multiverse of Madness, because obviously Wanda was a predominant figure in that film. So, and it deals with the character of Agatha. Now, if you don't know, oh, and by the way, spoilers for all this, because I'm going to be talking spoilers. So in this TV series, the main character we're dealing with is Agatha Harkness, who is a witch that we were first introduced in the 2021 show WandaVision, who was pretty much one of the antagonists of WandaVision, because WandaVision had like two or three. Well, two. They had like Sword, which was the weird um like agency company that dealt with weird phenomenon since Thanos killed half the universe. There was that guy, the leader of that thing, who created White Vision, who became an antagonist, but then didn't become an antagonist, whatever. But Agatha was like the main villain. Yeah, I would say that. Sorry, I'm a bit sick. I'm coming out of a bit of a sickness. So, you know, when you're at the end and you can still feel like a little bit of phlegm here and there, and it's like it won't go away, but like you know it's at the end, so you just gotta fucking power through. So this deals with, sorry, I don't know why I went on a tangent there. um, so yeah, this is about Agatha. And yeah, in WandaVision, Agatha is a witch who discovers that Wanda is an extremely powerful being and wants her power, and or just tries to discover who Wanda is and how she does her magic, because oh, hello police car. Because in the TV show WandaVision, Wanda's able to conjure up a completely different reality and a completely different world. And she even says in the show, your magic is so powerful, you have magic on autopilot. So, like, there are scenarios going on at the very edge of town that Wanda isn't even aware that's going on, but it's still going and running perfectly. So in WandaVision, they have a huge battle, and she tries to take her power, but Wanda is able to outsmart her. And Wanda then puts spell on Agatha at the end of WandaVision, and it's like, you are going to live the reality that I had to live and that I made with this town. Because at the end of the day, Wanda created Westview. It was her who created Westview out of her grief for Vision and for her children, in a way. But I think Agatha really made Wanda believe that this was her world, that this was normal. Agatha really like played along with it and like did as much as she can so that she could distract Wanda. So Wanda's just like, well, okay, you're gonna live this TV show world as well, and traps her in it. So Agatha All Along, we start off with Agatha, who is living in Westview. And it's really interesting because the first episode, it kind of does the whole thing that WandaVision was doing, where the first episode is based off of like a TV series. Now, this one is different. It's more, it's based off of the Mayor of Easton, I think so. I have to double check that. Let me just grab my phone. Yeah, it's basically copying a style of a film to give that kind of WandaVision-esque feel that we're living through different genres of TV. Mayor of Mayor of Easttown. So yeah, it's a series with Kate Winslet, and where she's like a detective, and Agatha is basically a detective, and they find a body. Now, if you don't know, for context clues, at the end of Multiverse of Madness, Wanda realizes the errors of her ways. So, in a final act of heroism, she collapses the castle of Wundagore on top of herself and destroys every single copy of the Darkhold in every single universe so that no one can ever feel the corruption that she felt. So, in Agatha All Along, it starts off with a body because she's a homicide detective being found in the woods. And like, what I really like about this series is that it's well, I feel like a lot of MCU projects, they require you to have a vast knowledge of multiple different films, which is fun, which I love that about the MCU. Like, in order to fully realize it, you would have to have seen the entire thing before to lead up to it, so you feel like it's earned. But then that's also rubbing salt into the wound, because then if you want to just watch something, then you have to be like, oh, wait, I have to watch this to understand it? No, I'm not going to watch it. Which is what I feel happened with the Marvels a bit. Even though I did like the Marvels film, I thought it was an okay film. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was actually like fun and quirky, yada yada yada. But it did require a lot of homework. Whereas with this series, it does require homework, but only for like 2 films or 2 a TV show and a film. It requires you to at least you've had to watch WandaVision. You can't just go into this not watching WandaVision. Then you'll be just like, what the hell is going on? So you have to watch WandaVision, and you kind of have to watch Multiverse of Madness, because in the first episode, and what I like about it is that Wanda's shadow is very much looming over this TV series, and rightly so, because she put Agatha in the spell. It's well, in the first episode, we don't know whose body it is until like halfway through the episode, where like it's revealed, oh, it's Wanda Maximoff, and like it was crushed, but we don't know how the body got there. That's the thing. This is like the mystery. So, Joe Locke, who from Heartstopper, is in this, and he comes in and he breaks Agatha from the spell by reciting this by reciting this spell to Agatha. And then they have to go on the witch's road because she currently has no powers. Well, she can only get her powers if someone blasts her with their powers. So she's an absorbing witch. So she steals the power of other witches, and that is her power. And so I think Wanda reset her when she put her under the spell in WandaVision. So she has no magic. So she is like, more the teen is like, you need to go on the witch's road to reclaim your magic. And the Witch's Road is this like road where it's a lot of like trials and tribulations, and at the end of it, you can get whatever you want. So yeah, that's basically the premise of Agatha. It's her going to get her powers. Now, as of today, there are only 3 episodes released. And I'm going to say I'm loving it so far. I think it's really fun. I think, and that was because I like it when the MCU can have fun and not take itself too seriously. I think I've said this multiple times before, but when the MCU, like, obviously there are moments when you can be super serious, like Captain America Winter Soldier, Endgame. What other super serious? I'm trying to think what other super serious MCU films there are. The first Avengers film, I'd say the second one is super serious with like bits of comedy. No, Infinity War. Infinity War is quite serious, but then it has like bits of comedy. But like whatever the MCU takes itself seriously, it can. I think the MCU thrives when it finds the perfect blend, and I think this series so far has a nice blend of like super serious, like discovering new lore, discovering new stuff about the characters, how it affects them, what are they doing, going on the journey, the tragedy of it all. But then also just like the fun campness of like these witches, like they're literal witches. Like, how could you not be fun and be campy with witches? Because I feel like in this day and age, everything is expected to be so serious that I feel like this series is a breath of fresh air. Like, I don't want to compare it, but like I've watched the first episode of The Penguin, and don't get me wrong, do not get me wrong, I love Matt Reeves' version of the Batman. I think it's a stellar movie. It's beautifully shot, well written, great characters, but obviously the source material in itself has such campy, wacky villains that in Matt Reeves' universe, I feel like there's no room for those iconic villains to become a thing in his universe. Like, for example, I don't think we'll ever see like a Clayface or even Ra's al Ghul or Talia al Ghul in Matt Reeves' universe, because they deal with like magic or science or mutation. Um, and Matt Reeves' universe feels so grounded in realism that they don't have any room for that. They wouldn't be able to use villains like Clayface and such. Whereas like this series embraces the stupid, campy wickedness of witches. Like there's one scene in an episode where they have to. I'll try not to. Well, I mean, I said no. I said spoilers. So, there's a scene where they're trying to get out of a house, and the only way to get out of the house is through an oven. And Patty LuPone's character is just like, no, I'm not going through an oven. The last time my friend went through an oven, she ended up dead, and that was with And then it cuts, and it's like it's stupid jokes like that. And I'm not gonna lie, the theme song for this show is a fucking bop. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. And I love how you can hear Patty so clearly in the second half of the song. You can just hear her belting her tits off. But no, I really love it. Even though I haven't finished the series yet, I'm excited to see what comes next. And I think, because I think I've said before, or maybe I haven't, I loved WandaVision. It's one of my favorite MCU projects. I think it's absolutely brilliantly done. I think it shows what the MCU can be post Endgame. And I think it's up in the ranks of one of the best MCU TV series or MCU projects ever. The only thing that keeps it from becoming the best in my book is just the final episode. The final episode felt like the creator for the first 8 episodes have had complete creative control over it. This is how we're going to do it. This is how it's written. This is how it's going to go. And then the last episode, it felt like Kevin Feige and the producers came in and were just like, actually, you need to do this and you need to do that. And this needs to happen for it to make sense in the future. Because the final episode just feels so like classic final Marvel, if that makes sense. Like a CGI battle, lasers everywhere, like a very vague ending. Yeah. So hopefully I feel like Agatha could be up there with WandaVision as one of my like favorite shows. But until like it's finished, then I can't really guess. But there's 3 episodes out, and the 3 episodes I've seen so far are very good. I'm loving that we're getting like obviously Teen is a mystery character who we don't really find out. I imagine we won't find out until the end. But I'm loving that the other witches in the coven, like Patti LuPone's character, we're seeing like in the last episode especially, we saw little glimpses of their personal lives or their trauma. And it was really interesting to watch. And I'm glad it happened because now I'm invested in these characters. Now I'm like, oh, wait, what happened with her? Why did this person show up? Oh, why did the doctor try and drown this person? Did this happen? And then why is this person whose mother wrote the song Down the Witch's Road, like, what's her beef with her mother? Like, I want to know what she did for like the song. And then obviously you want to know about Agatha's backstory because in the last episode we actually did get quite a glimpse into the life of Agatha. It was said that well, it was a rumor by one of the Coven witches who said to Joe Locke's character, "Did you know that she sold or traded her son's life to get her hands on the Darkhold?" Now, I don't know how true that is. It might show that actually, like, she had to save her son's life by using a spell from the Darkhold, and the Darkhold took the son. But we don't know. I mean, that would be cool. I'm going to call that. I'm going to call that right now that the reason why Agatha gave up her son is not because she gave it up for power. Agatha gave it up because she had to use a spell from the Darkhold to bring her child back to life. Because if you look back at WandaVision, there's a scene where the dog is dead. I think Agatha kills it. The dog is dead, and Wanda's sons are just like, please, please, please bring it back to life. We know you can do it. And Wanda's just like, I can't do that. And one of her sons is just like, yes, you can you bring him back to life? And even Agatha is just like, can you? Can you bring this dog back to life? So it would make sense why Agatha wanted Wanda's power so much, so that she could revive her child. I would like to see that happen. But no, like Agatha All Along, love it. I'm loving the style. I'm loving the acting. I'm loving the lore that it's bringing in. And I love how I think the benefit from having the Witch's Road is that there's only one road. So it's a clear line of going from A to B. So it feels focused. But the way the road works is like fun and like different and steers you on different trials. So you get a lot of variety with it. So I think what they're doing is pretty clever. I'm really enjoying it so far. And I'm enjoying it so far that I'm excited for the next episode to see what happens. And I know for a fact that reviewers, they got the first 4 episodes. So after this week's episode, nobody knows what's happening, which is exciting. Yeah. So Agatha All Along, so far I'd give it a 9 I'd give it a 9 out of 10, maybe an 8 because we're just only like setting up and building the foundation. I'll see how far along it goes, where it could pick up its score. But yeah, Agatha All Along, Disney Plus. give it a watch. Yeah, I'm having a fun time with it. I like, and it's a queer person's dream show. Like, are you kidding me? All of these divas, Audrey Plaza, love her. I love her so much. Now next up on the agenda, we have, so if you're like me and you're a Lady Gaga stan, you know that and I think I said this in the last episode, that we have been fed so much content this year alone. We got the Chromatica Ball film, which was excellent. Loved revisiting that because I did go back in 2022. Was it 2022? Yeah, it was 2022. Holy shit. 2024, we got the Chromatica Ball film. Then we got the performance at the Paris Olympics, which was so much fun, but it did feel like she was set up almost to fail because of the staging and the rain and all that stuff. The performance was amazing. I loved it. Very chic, very Gaga, like very like her way of performing. But yeah, there was just so much rain and one of her dancers fell and it just felt like, I don't know, it just felt weird. But still good. Then obviously we have Die with a Smile with Bruno Mars, which came out, and then obviously we have Joker, which is coming out this week. My tickets are booked and I will be seeing it and I will be discussing it on next week's episode. But in a surprise turn, she last week announced that she would be releasing her, she calls it LG 6.5. So it's her album, but it's also a companion album to the film Joker, and it's called The Harlequin, and it's mostly jazz covers with a few, one or two modern covers, and then there's two original songs in there by her. And it's so good. It's really refreshing because obviously this is not her first time doing jazz. She obviously has Cheek to Cheek and Love for Sale, which was a duet album with Tony Bennett. Oh, I miss Tony Bennett. I wish Tony Bennett was just so good. I remember the day Tony, if you don't know this, you guys, the day Tony Bennett died was the day that Barbie and Oppenheimer came out in cinemas. July 21st, 2023. I was outside the Leicester Square Cinema and I got the news and I was almost in tears. Oh my God, such a shame. But no, the Harlequin is just, even though like a majority of it is the jazz covers, and I know a lot of Gaga fans are a bit iffy about jazz. Listen, I understand it. A lot of these gays, well, in fairness, yeah, the majority of the audience are gays. But a lot of Gaga fans, um, want pop Gaga. They love pop Gaga, and I love pop Gaga. I love the Chromatica, Fame, the Fame Monster, Joanne, Art Pop. I love all that. But like I can see why people are complaining about the jazz. I don't give a fuck. I love jazz. I am a MT girly, so I know the majority of these songs just from association. I love it when Gaga sings jazz. I think she's incredibly talented and has an powerhouse vocals, and this album just showcases it. I mean, you have like, my personal favorites are If My Friends Could See Me Now, That's Entertainment, and I'm gonna say Happy Mistake, which is her original song that she wrote for the film. Those are my top three, but the rest of the album is so just, it's, even though it's a jazz album technically, it's quite varied. Like you have songs like Folie à Deux, which is a pure like ballroom like waltz, da 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 da, like very much that vibe. And then you have the Joker, which is this like rock remix of a Shirley Bassey song. Then you have Close to You, which is the fucking Why do birds suddenly appear? And then you have like classic jazz standards like Good Morning from Singing in the Rain, Get Happy by Judy Garland, and That's Life. It's such an uh an array of different types of jazz, which I think is refreshing. More, I would say, more refreshing than her Cheek to Cheek or Love for Sale, because obviously in Love for Sale and Cheek to Cheek, it's Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett. So it's a lot of Gershwin. Well, it's mostly Gershwin. I think it's all just Gershwin. And then a lot of just like classic jazz standards. Whereas this one, I feel like it has those jazz standards, but then it has little pockets of like some contemporary and then some Gaga. And then it's just a powerhouse showcase of her vocals. Like, I cannot stop listening to That's Entertainment, even though that's an old Judy Garland jazz standard. The way the beat comes in, like, I feel like she reached out more for songs in the jazz world that had more of like a swing beat to it. Whereas like her previous works, although they did have high tempo jazz songs, the majority of them were ballads like Nature Boy and Cheek to Cheek. Um, Cheek to Cheek had a bit of a swing to it, but it not really. And I just love this album. I want to play it, but I don't want to get copyrighted. But it's such a good album, and I'm pretty sure every single song that's in this album is in the film Joker Folie à Deux. So it'll be really interesting to see the difference between them, and to see obviously to see who sings what as well, because Joaquin also stars in that film and he sings. And yeah, it's so much fun, and you just listen to it. You can shuffle it, and like when the Saints come marching in, oh my god, she just keeps changing keys, like going here, going there, and then it's just so powerful and filled with soul. Like you can feel it. It's not like hollow. It's just Gaga. Ugh. It's yeah. I'm so happy that I get to be a little monster. Because for the longest time, if you were a little monster, girl, you were getting nothing. Girl, you were lucky if you were getting anything. Like, that's why I like being a Taylor Swift fan, a Swiftie, because no matter what year, you will get content from her. You will get some kind of content. And majority of the time, it's either a re-recording or a new album. So I'm so happy that I'm reaping the benefits of becoming a little monster in 2024. Yeah, this album is, it's just, and also the aesthetic of the album covers. It's such a great, like, she describes it well. This isn't like, this isn't just a soundtrack for the film. It's me and Harley Quinn. It's both of us. It's a companion album by me, Lady Gaga, that comes with the film Joker Folie à Deux. So, and that's, like I said before, that's why it's LG 6.5. And if you don't want to know what LG 6 or whatever. So usually with these pop girlies, when we don't have an album, or there's rumors of an album floating, but we don't have an official title, fans will call their albums like the initial of the initial of their names and whatever number album they're on. So, for example, the next pop album by Lady Gaga is currently titled LG7. So it's Lady Gaga and it's album number 7. And then for Rihanna, it's R9 because it's Rihanna and it's number 9, and so on and so forth. But this one truly does feel like a point 0.5, like between, it's an album to hold you over between Chromatica and LG7. I can't wait to find out what the title of that album is. because this month, October, is when she is going to release the lead single for LG7. Now, she didn't say what date. It could be today, or it could be the 31st of October. We have no idea. I don't know, because I feel like there is a lot of hype going into Joker Folie à Deux. And not to sidetrack, but I've seen a lot of reviews of Joker 2. And it's kind of generating the same amount of reviews that the first one did, kind of meh to positive. Like I've seen a lot of people sorry, I'm just getting a text. I've seen a lot of people raving about it, and I've seen every other review, whether it's good, bad, or meh, have said unanimously that Lady Gaga is incredible. And actually, I thought one of the complaints for the film was that she's not in it enough. So that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, obviously it comes out this week. I don't think she'll release the single the week after. Or maybe they will, just to build off the hype. It would be smart to do that, to like release the single the Friday after, to like obviously build up the hype for that, and then in turn build up hype for the second weekend of Joker 2. But yeah, no, so that's Harlequin. I would give it, this album, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I do wish there was one more original Gaga song, but with what I have, I'm very happy, and I'm listening to it on repeat. I love this album. I think it's a fantastic album, and I think you should all listen to it. It is the Harlequin, available where you can get music. Now, I want to talk about a film that I saw a couple of weeks ago. Now, if you don't know me, well, you should know at this point. But I love the Oscars. I think I've been following the Oscars since 2009. I've watched every single one except for one, which was the fucking La La Land and Moonlight show. So kicking myself over that still. I love it. I love I love the drama of it. I love the nominations. I love the build up to it. I love seeing what films don't get nominated. I love seeing the films that do get nominated. I love seeing it because I feel like for me, it's an introduction into films that I normally would just ignore. So every year I try and see the films that are predicted to be nominated for Best Picture. And at the top of everyone's lists was this film called Sing Sing. Now, I think I might have talked about it last week, but I'm going to get into more detail now. Now, Sing Sing is 2023. Now, that don't make no sense. What? Hold on. Oh. Okay. Well, it's 2020. It's a 2024 release. Sing Sing is a film starring Colman Domingo, who was in Rustin and The Color Purple last year. And it's set in the prison, Sing Sing, in America in current times. And it's about these prisoners who are part of a drama society. And all of them are basically they're putting on a show, and they have a new cast member. Well, a couple of new cast members, but they focus mainly on one of them. And it's such an interesting dive into the psyche of what it's like to be in prison and the system in which you are put in prison for and how broken it is. But it's also like a story about hope and just patience. And I think it's a brilliant film about patience, because in one aspect you have a new inmate who has just come in, who is a very much a hardened criminal, but one of the guys, Colman Domingos, tries to get him to come into the drama society. And he comes in the auditions. And at first, he's very hesitant about the drama society and letting loose and doing these drama exercises and getting into script learning. He's very, very resistant. And not only resistant, he's impatient because he goes in and he does it and he gets critiqued. And he's just like, oh, well, man, no, I don't want to fucking do this. Bullshit. Like, fuck you. But then Colman Domingo's just like, you've got to get into it. This is your character. What are your intentions? You've got to do it this way. And you got to A, B, and C to get to here. It takes time. It takes work. It takes practice. And then you also have the patience of Colman Domingo's character, who has been in jail for a long time, for I believe it was for a crime that he's trying to like prove he didn't do, but who's still in prison. And he's trying to like, oh yeah, so Colman Domingo's character, he goes for a parole meeting, which is like a checkup to see whether or not you can stay or can you be released. And he does so much work. He's been trying this for years and years and years and years to like prove that he is a functioning member of society, that he should go back in, and that he doesn't have to be in prison. And he works so hard, and then when I think he thinks he's finally cracked it because he's worked so hard on it, and he goes forward and it doesn't happen to him. And then he has a bit of a breakdown. And then his friend is like, you've just got to wait. You've just got to be patient. But then it also, on the flip side, shows the corruptness of the American system. It just shows that you could do so much work and just one small thing can pull the rug from underneath you, which is what I like. It's really interesting exploring the themes of this film. It's fantastically acted. Every single actor in this film deserves an Academy Award for what they've done in this film. There is not one beat missed. There is not any bit boring. Like, it is so, they are sweet, they are caring, they are angry, they are happy, they are sad, they long for freedom, but then know that some of them are like, maybe I was in a bad place and I did this, and then other people are just like, no, I did this bad thing, so I need to be here so I could prove to my child that I'm worth something. It's so interesting, and it's all fucking well brilliantly portrayed. Um, it's and the crazy thing about this, the craziest thing about this, is that the majority of the actors in this film were the actual inmates who were in Sing Sing at the time when this drama society was like popular. Not popular, like of the setting of the film. I think, yeah. Yeah. So a lot of these they're the actual inmates from the actual like story of Sing Sing. So this film is based on a book. And it regales all of these inmates who did the drama society and did the play. And a lot of them that were in the book, they're the actual people who are in this film, which is brilliant. And at the end, they do a montage of the actual filmed performances of the show that they brought to life on screen. It's so good. It makes, if you're an actor, it makes you inspired to create. It makes you inspired to create, and it just makes you happy to be in the world where this type of stuff is being made and created. It makes you so happy. I was having the time of my life. I went through the spectrum of all the different emotions. I remember, what part did I cry at? There was one part I cried at. I can't remember when. But I just remember it wasn't even like a hard cry. or just like a sobbing cry. It was more of like just a single one or two tears were just going down my face while my face was like blank. So it was more of like it hit me in a way that moved me. Yeah. Like I would go see it again. And if it's on like digital, like whatever you do, try and see this film because like they're right. This film deserves to be nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. Feckin' yeah, just all of the major ones. Like, and oh, cinematography as well. It's this film is beautifully shot. It's like beautifully shot, and I just think it's one of those films where like it's one of those films where which annoyingly happened last year. So if you like so last year obviously they announced the Oscar nominations and uh The Sound of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall were nominated both for Best Picture. And I think I remembered the week after it was nominated for an Oscars, all of the screenings were sold out for The Sound of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall and all the films that were nominated for Best Picture, like the holdovers as well. This film is going to be the film where it's going to be nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards and a bunch of people will go see. So if you can see it now, just go see it because you'll have a good time regardless, and you'll be able to be like a bit cocky and just being like, "Yep, I saw that before the nominations came out. That is deserved." Um, because I will say there's nothing better than I think it happened to me last year where I before the nominations came out, I saw 7 out of the 10 films, which is great, which is absolutely great. I was so happy with myself. And it feels good because you're a part of the conversation. Because you can wholeheartedly go, oh, cool, okay, amazing. So this one, yes, 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 no, no, maybe. And then the other 3 I still have to see, so I don't know. Yeah, so I would like go see this film. And it's a relatively short film. Um, I uh, I just and also Colman Domingo is such an astounding actor. He has just such a charm about him, but it holds this heavy, like almost uh gravitas. Like he's charming as all hell, but he holds when he plays his character, he holds this heavy sadness in them that carries throughout the film. Like it's never just a one-sided character or a character that's experiencing one thing. It's a character who, in that scene, is showing off joy, but you can see in their body language and in their body itself that there's something beneath the surface. It's impeccable cinema. And you all need to watch it to fully appreciate just what acting can do and also what adapting what brilliant sorry you should watch it to appreciate great acting but also appreciate great screenwriting, and specifically screenwriting that is ad- adapting a novel or a game or a play, because just the script was so well written and just fucking great all around. Yeah. Yeah, I won't stop talking about it. And I wouldn't be surprised if Colman Domingo gets the lead actor Oscar anyway. I think he deserves it. I mean, we're getting into we are in award seasons now. So it'll be it's not award season technically, but it's the season where I said this before. So from September, late August to December is where all of the grand house projects come out. So they're the projects that are specifically designed to be put forward for film awards. Now, I say that they're not specifically made for Oscars, but they are released around a time where Academy voters will be watching and remembering. We've seen before very failed Oscar bait movies, and the reason why that they're bad is because they feel like they are give us an Oscar. But yeah, this one does not feel like that at all. Like if there was a chance that come January that they announced the nominations and Sing Sing got nothing, I would be like, wow, that is a tremendous oversight and a huge snub. But the film itself is still incredible, and it doesn't need the Oscars. That's how good this film is. Yeah, so that's Sing Sing. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Absolute 10 out of 10. I love this film. Well directed, well acted, well written, great cinematography, and also a great ending as well. It ended very well. And there was a twist in it that I did not expect, which makes sense, and it also adds to the theme of patience, but also just also how corrupt the prison system is in America. It speaks to both sides. Not sides, just both areas. Yeah, no, 10 out of 10. Go see it. You'll have the time of your life. Well, yeah. So now we're at the end of another episode of the Triple Threat podcast. Thank you so much for listening to me, you guys. Love you all. Make sure you like and subscribe and you share. And, if anyone needs a little podcast of a little guy just talking about the movies and TV and shows he loves, then, recommend me to any of your friends and family. Yeah, I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Apple Podcasts. I'm on Amazon Podcasts, and I'm on Spotify. I'm also posting all these on my YouTube channel. So yeah, give us a like and a follow, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.